What is up guys, welcome back to the channel, and first of all I wish you guys all a happy new year. And today we are starting 2024 journey talking about 20 of the best upcoming free to play games that you should play in 2024 and beyond. So this will include first person shooters, action adventure games, survival games, horror games, and also a couple of sports games as well. So we got a pretty insane collection of upcoming free games to check out in our today's video. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Alright guys, none of these games are in any particular order, so I'm starting with a game that I was super excited to play back in 2023, but unfortunately the release date was a bit delayed, and that is the X-Defiant. It's a brand new super fun free-to-play arcade multiplayer first-person shooter developed by Ubisoft. In terms of gameplay, the game is very similar to something like classic Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and throughout the last year we had the chance to try out the closed beta test as well as the open beta, and the game was supposed to be released by the end of 2023, but unfortunately the release date just got delayed to 2024. So if everything goes right, the game most likely be available by the end of this month, which I'm honestly super excited to jump back into. So if you're looking for a brand new first-person shooter experience, this is a game that you should definitely be excited about. And also the game will be available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, as well as on Xbox One, and also on PC through the Ubisoft Connect launcher. One of the most refreshing third-person shooter experiences that I recently had the chance to try out was the game called The First Descendant, and I already made a video a few months back talking about the game. So it's an upcoming free-to-play looter-shooter style of action RPG with bit of a sci-fi elements to it, and visually the game looked absolutely stunning. The game was actually developed by Nexon Games, which is no surprise the game looks so good even in the closed beta. It's a great game to play with co-op with your friends, or you can enjoy the game completely single player as well. Right now they haven't mentioned anything regarding the exact release date, but the game will be coming out on sometimes 2024 and will be available on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, as well as on Xbox One. Alright, next up on our list we got a brand new free-to-play upcoming first-person shooter called Hystera. It's a brand new free-to-play arena style of a shooter where the battlefield change dynamically from past, present to future, which means sometimes you fight with throwing spears, or at another time you might have a super powerful laser gun. It's a very cool concept that I haven't seen in any other first-person shooters too, and I'm super curious to jump into the game when it's available. But currently we don't have an exact release date for this game, but the game should be available on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. If you're a fan of racing simulation games, next up we got a brand new upcoming free-to-play super realistic racing simulator called Rennsport. Right now the game is still on beta stage, but looking at the trailers, it looks absolutely stunning. One of the best looking racing games that I have seen so far. The game is heavy focuses being a competitive racing simulator with super realistic physics, high performance cars, and real world tracks and location all around the world, which is pretty insane. Right now they haven't mentioned anything regarding an exact release date or a console release, but the game will be exclusively available on Epic Games Store on PC, and most likely we'll be getting more information about the game in the near future. Alright, next up we got a pretty cool little upcoming action game called Sneak Out. So it's basically a free-to-play hide and seek style of a game where you can play with up to 6 of your friends inside this huge magical castle, where 5 players is going to hide inside the castle and try to complete different objectives, different tasks, and somehow get out of this mysterious castle, and the other remaining player is going to be the dangerous hunter who try to hunt them down. Honestly, it does look like a pretty fun casual co-op game with a very nice art style, but right now we don't have an exact release date for this game, but according to their roadmap the game will be available on summer 2024 for pretty much all major platforms including PC as well. Alright, next up we got a game that I actually talked about a few months ago, and that is the game called Delta Force The Hawk Ops. Delta Force games I always have a pretty special place in my heart. I'm someone who grew up playing a lot of Delta Force game back when I was a kid, so I'm super excited to jump back into this brand new free-to-play battlefield style of experience, which is supposedly coming out in later 2024. Even though it's going to be a free-to-play game, the game's supposed to have a fully fleshed out single-player campaign mode called Black Hawk Down, alongside a couple of other multiplayer game modes. Currently they haven't mentioned anything regarding an exact release date, but the game should be available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, as well as on PC, and surprisingly on mobile as well. Steel Aces is a brand new upcoming free-to-play MMO style of a game where you can drive tons of historical tanks, and you can simply upgrade them, customize them, and take it to the battlefield and fight with other enemies in this massively multiplayer environment. The game is going to represent tons of different variations of tanks from different historical eras of the war, like World War I, World War II, Cold War, as well as some modern day tanks as well. So if you're someone who really enjoys this type of simulation style of a games, or if you're someone who already playing games like World of Tanks, this is a game you should absolutely be excited about. So far we don't have any news about an exact release date, and the game is going to be available on PC on Steam. You can definitely go ahead and check out their Steam page as well. If you're a big fan of horror/survival games, next up we got a pretty cool upcoming game called Backrooms. It's an upcoming co-op/horror survival game where you can play with your friends in co-op, and your simple goal is to play as a team and navigate through these difficult, challenging levels that the game offers you. In order to survive in this game, you have to play as a team, and also communicating with them using the in-game proximity chat is also essential. And on top of all that, the game also lets you have a level editor where you can create your own levels and share with other players, which is pretty cool. And also there is a small demo version available on their Steam page. You can definitely go ahead and check it out as well. Overall, it seems like a pretty cool project, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this game in the upcoming months. Alright, next up we got a brand new upcoming free-to-play arena style of a shooter called Lock and Load 2. It's a classic 5v5 arena style of a shooter, bit similar to games like Overwatch and Quake, but in this game you can literally build and destroy every block in the map. So environmental destruction is a huge part of this game. Because of that, the layout of the map will change dynamically during the game. And on top of that, you also got your typical heroes with different abilities, different weapons you can unlock and upgrade. So far they only announced the game will be coming out on PC on Steam, and the game will be coming out in sometimes 2024. Alright, next up we got a very unique upcoming competitive tactical first-person shooter called Alara Prime. So it's going to be a 4v4v4 total of 12 players playing for 3 different teams. Makes this game a very unique competitive shooter, something that we haven't seen before. And there is also a different class system. You can choose characters depending on your playing preference, pretty similar to some of the other games. And actually the game was in development for a very long time. I believe this game was announced like a couple of years ago, so hopefully the final release will be coming out in 2024. So far the game will be only available on Steam on PC. Dungeon Stalkers is an upcoming free-to-play action RPG style of a game where you can simply join forces with your companions and explore and survive through these dark dungeons where you can fight tons of enemies and different boss fights. Along the way you can collect different equipments, hunt down different treasures while surviving in this classic RPG where the environment plagued by the witch's curse. There are 6 different classes and 6 different characters you can choose, each come with their unique set of skills. Currently we don't have an exact release date for this game. Right now they only announced the game will be coming out on PC on Steam. Havoc is an upcoming free-to-play tactical team-based first-person shooter which represents a classic plant and defuse style of a game mode with completely destructible environment. And the game also represents a pretty nice simple art style, bit like Valorant I would say, and it's something I really appreciate. Definitely not the most flashiest game on our today's list, but it's something I'm really looking forward to play. So far we don't have an exact release date for this game, but you can definitely go ahead and check out their Steam page for more information. I may not be the biggest fan when it comes to survival/horror type of games, but the next game on our list definitely caught my eye recently, and that is a game called Boneless. It's an upcoming completely free-to-play horror survival first-person shooter where you can simply build your own fiction and fight against various types of enemies and demons using powerful weapons in the variety of game modes that the game represents. It's a game that you can enjoy both single player as well as online co-op. Right now we don't have an exact release date for this game, but hopefully the game will be coming out in sometimes 2024 and it's going to be available on PC on Steam. If you're someone who really enjoy playing sports simulation games, our next game is probably the one for you, and that is a game called Maximum Football. So it's an upcoming free-to-play football simulation game which is going to represent American football, which is honestly a sport that I'm not that familiar with, but this is going to be your ultimate football simulation game, and by looking at the trailers, visually it looks absolutely amazing. So if you're someone who play this type of game, especially the annual Madden games, this is going to be a very nice free-to-play alternative, and the game will be coming out in sometimes 2024, and it will be available on pretty much all the major platforms including PlayStation, Xbox as well as on PC. Alright, moving on, next up we got a game that I actually talked about a few times back in my channel as well, and that is a game called Project C Beyond Order. It's an upcoming free-to-play co-op zombie survival game where you play as a crew of survivors whose job is to unravel the secret of this Nazi-controlled island. It's a zombie survival game set in the World War II. Remind me a bit of the zombie mods in classic Call of Duty games. Nevertheless, the game has a very interesting story to it as well. You can both enjoy the game single player as well as online or LAN co-op. Honestly, we don't have much information regarding the game other than their Steam page, but the game will be coming out on PC, PlayStation 5 as well as on Xbox Series S and X. Alright, next up we got a very popular upcoming free-to-play game that most people already heard about by now, and that is the Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. So if you're a fan of Ubisoft Division games, this is going to be their first introduction game as a free-to-play title on the Division series. So it's going to be a completely free-to-play action third-person shooter set in this mysterious rural town called Silver Creek. So as a player, you have to squad up with your pals and fight against different enemy faction, also surviving the harsh environment. I believe the game is still right now on closed beta stage and going to be available sometimes in 2024, and it's going to be available on pretty much all major platforms including PC, PlayStation as well as on Xbox consoles. Alright, next up we gotta talk about a couple of upcoming battle royale games, starting with a game called Mini Royale, and it's probably one of the most coolest looking games on our today's list. And I recently saw a bunch of YouTubers trying out the game, and seems to be a very fun and refreshing battle royale experience compared to some of the other popular games like PUBG, Apex Legends or Fortnite. In this game you play as a green army toy soldiers, you know, these little toys that we all used to have, and all players are fighting inside this massive bedroom area filled with different toys, and you simply have to survive until one team or one player remain victorious. It's a pretty cool little game and will be coming out in the second quarter of 2024, and it will be available on PC, on Steam as well as on Epic Games Store. Alright, moving on, next up we got a very interesting looking upcoming battle royale game called Off the Grid. It's an upcoming free-to-play sci-fi third-person cyberpunk style of a battle royale game, which represents a massive 150 player battle royale mode alongside a 60-hour-long single-player campaign as well, which is a pretty insane amount of content in a single game. So honestly, I'm super curious to see how this game will be turned out in the future. Visually, the game looks very impressive and very futuristic. Even though we don't have a current release date for this game, the game will be coming out on PC, PlayStation as well as on Xbox Series consoles. Alright, next up we got a super impressive looking upcoming football game called UFL, and I gotta say guys, I used to play a lot of football games back in the day. I'm a big fan of FIFA, but I stopped buying annual FIFA game a long time ago. So for someone like me who is interested in football games and looking for a great free-to-play alternative, this game is going to be a great one. Hopefully the game will be turned out pretty good in the upcoming future. The game is going to be available on PC, PlayStation 5 as well as on Xbox Series S and X. Even though we don't have an exact release date right now, the game will be coming out sometimes in 2024. Alright, finally we gotta talk about one of the most anticipated upcoming free-to-play games that possibly be releasing in sometimes 2024, and that is the game called Ark Raiders. So it's an upcoming free-to-play third-person extraction shooter style of a game, which is going to be developed and published by Embark Studios. You guys know the guys who behind the popular free-to-play game right now, The Finals. And after the major success that they had with The Finals, and I'm hoping to see Ark Raiders coming out sometimes in 2024, so hopefully we'll be getting more information about the game in the near future, and the game will be coming out on PC, PlayStation 5 as well as on Xbox Series consoles. So definitely go ahead and check out their Steam page for more information and also to participate in the upcoming playtest as well. Well, that's pretty much a wrap up this video guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found some information about great upcoming free-to-play games, and also let me know down below what is your favorite game, what games are you excited to play the most. And finally guys, as always, if you enjoyed the content, please go ahead and leave a like on the video and also subscribe and stay tuned, because we're gonna cover tons of free-to-play games in 2024 as well. So I catch you guys soon in my next video. Stay safe.